Back in 1869, 5 months after the Civil War had ended, Port Huron High School graduated and started its first graduating class. And since that time, our building has changed in different locations throughout Port Huron. We know for a fact that we've had 4 different buildings, and until 1955 and 56, when this building opened, there has been several additions added to it. And 12 months ago, right out in front, and as a matter of fact, probably in the very spots you're sitting tonight, we broke ground. We dug up, and we had a ceremony, and some of you were there. I appreciate your being here again tonight. But that was a beginning, which tonight represents the ending of that task which many of you in this room have participated in. We're very proud of our school, we're proud of our addition, and we welcome you here tonight to help us dedicate this new addition to Port Huron High School. Before we begin, I would like to call upon one of our members of our student body, and I'd like to ask Junior Debbie Carson to please come forward and to ask you to please stand for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you very much. As we go through our program and look at our agenda tonight, we're going to have different parts of our building, our students, our staff, and members of our community and our administration, our Board of Education, our superintendent, and our community at large be a part of this ceremony. And I'm going to ask, if they would, each of these people to say something or at least be recognized for your participation tonight. Representing our student body at this time is our senior student council president, Aaron Van Trustenberg. Aaron, would you please come forward?
On behalf of the student body of Port Huron High School, I extended sincere appreciation and gratitude to the community of parents and friends for providing these wonderful facilities for our use. I am sure that these additions to Big Red Country will help our students to become better citizens and leaders of tomorrow. Again, thank you.
Thank you very much, Aaron. Appreciate those remarks. And I know Aaron speaks for the entire 1,600 students that attend this school. At this time, I'd like to call upon one of our senior members of our staff, and that is Mr. William Friley, who's in our English department. We're very happy to have you on the program, Mr. Friley.
Thank you, Dr. Crosby. On behalf of the entire staff, we'd like to say welcome to the program for this evening. When I reflect on my being with the staff some 29 years, I also have to include that I graduated from this high school in the second class, this building, 1958. I've seen a great many changes, good changes. We have a fantastic staff, good leadership, and now thanks to you folks, we can do our job even better. Thanks for your cooperation and your support.
Thank you much, Bill. Thank you very much for those kind words. And speaking now for our parents is our president of our School Advisory Council, Mr. Franklin Spotts. Mr. Spotts.
As I look out and see the faces of those who are here tonight, all kinds of wonderful things go through my mind. It's extremely impressive. Well, I walked down the halls of this school graduating in 1961, Bill. And those were the days when we all, well, Bernie Palmatier back here, he was, the all-state hero of the school on the football team. And we naturally at that time had no idea that we would be having parents or having children who would also be using someday these facilities. We have a heritage. We as parents and we as citizens, we can say that we have made an investment in our children, and we can say that we have made an investment in our school, and we can say that we have made an investment in our community. And we certainly would never have dreamed that it would turn out to have been so beautiful and so practical. And certainly that is thanks to people like Roy French, who did such a fine job of marrying the whole building together. I mean, if you were a bypasser, you would never know that this was an addition. And we're seated here in this library, sort of the learning center, if you will, with all of this knowledge and all of these books. And we have to be reminded, I think, of what our ancestors said for us, what they believed about us, even though they never knew. Those four who graduated in that first graduating class would have never dreamed that there would someday be a cafeteria. In fact, the old timers in the community tell me how they used to sit on the stairs over at the college and have their lunches. And here we are today. Because people believed and people had confidence. And our forefathers expressed the same things that we hold true today, that we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights. Among these, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And if this center of learning represents anything, it certainly represents that we as parents want to also pass on that legacy to our posterity. Thank you.
Speaking for administration, I certainly can't do it by myself. So these gentlemen who don't know anything about this are going to be called one at a time, And as I introduce them, I'd like for them to join me, because they're part of this team, and come forward and stand in front. First of all, when I'm out of the building and someone has to be in charge, I always turn to one gentleman, and that's Mr. Ken Semmelsberger, Assistant Principal and Athletic Director. Mr. Semmelsberger. And I turn to the next gentleman, Mr. Tom Miller, Assistant Principal. And Mr. Ron Willeen, Assistant Principal. And Mr. David Epley, Curriculum Director. And Mr. Mark Law, Curriculum Director. Wouldn't you know that Mr. Spots, being with great wisdom, as we all know, stole my speech. We have not talked about anything, but as we dedicate this school tonight as administration, and I look at these fine gentlemen who I have the privilege of working with each day, I was going to say the Declaration of Independence and how it affirms that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We, the 6 of us, along with the administration in our district, dedicate this school to these fundamental truths. We dedicate this school to the students, that by attending and using these facilities, they will receive instruction, guidance, and proper social, emotional, and physical enrichment. We dedicate this school to the parents and citizens of our community. We understand the importance of parent involvement in our school, and we applaud the assistance and the cooperation each individual parent provides. We, the 6 of us, dedicate this school to the high caliber staff that makes educational excellence happen each and every day and provides our teachers the foundation, the atmosphere, and the facilities to accomplish our instructional goals. We, the 6 of us, and all of our administrators, dedicate this school and ourselves to the quest of these goals. Thank you, gentlemen. I would like to introduce to you now, representing our entire community, is our mayor, Mrs. Alicia Sanchez. Mrs. Sanchez.
Good evening. Coming in the middle of the program is kind of nice. I don't have to say much. I do want to say that in representing the city, I would like to take the opportunity to congratulate each and every member of our community for having the vision and the desire to provide the type of environment that would enhance the education of our children, and that I hope that hundreds and thousands of children will benefit from the wisdom and the teaching that these wonderful people have provided for my children, and as much that I had 4 children graduating from this high school, and certainly to see the improvements and the dedication that this community has toward education enhances all of our lives. We're not only providing for our present, we are certainly building our future. Congratulations to everyone, and thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Sanchez. And now I'd like to turn to members of our Board of Education. We can't have all of them here tonight to speak, and they are a number of them here tonight, but I would like to call upon the one who speaks for the school board, and that's their president, Mr. David Devendorf. Mr. Devendorf.
Thank you, Larry. As I look around the room, I think I saw a couple of my colleagues on the Board of Education here. I see Jim Ralkin in the near the back of the room. Jim, would you stand up, please? And Bernie Palmatier is here. Bernie. Jerry Andrews. I see Jerry. Would you stand up, Jerry? And I want you all to know, with my presence here tonight, we are in violation of the Open Meetings Act, and we all have to stay, or else we should all stay in different parts of the room. It was about the time that I came on the Board of Education. I don't know how many years ago that was. It seems ages ago. That the board, as a matter of policy, decided that it wanted to see a renewed emphasis on academics at Port Huron High School. And I think it's appropriate that as we dedicate the additions and the improvements to Port Huron High School today, to the facility, that we do so in a library, and in a library that is beautiful and appropriate as this library is. A room that should, and in this case does, accommodate study by our students. It was my pleasure just about a week ago, a little over a week ago, to be here at Port Huron High School at their honors assembly, and it was gratifying to see the large number of students who were being recognized in that honors assembly for their academic performance. There are always the few students who were doing just wonderfully well who were being recognized, but what was nice was to see the large number of students who were doing well. And I'm confident that that will continue. I'm confident that a facility like this now in the library was very important in the improvement to Port Huron High School, will help the students continue to improve as they have in the past. And in that respect, in that regard, I want to thank Dr. Crosby, and congratulate him on the job that he has done as with Port Huron High School. I want to ask if I can. I know you were going to introduce the next speaker. I wanted to take that opportunity if I could. Larry Moeller has had a highly publicized illness recently, and this is his first formal function back in the saddle as with the Port Huron Area School District. I want Larry to know that when he became ill, Bill Kimball gave me a call and told me the sad news, and the Times-Herald was calling as well. And we put our heads together and knew exactly what needed to be said to the Times-Herald. And we told the Times-Herald the truth, and that was none of us was really sure what it was that Larry did. And we wanted to look at the bright side of things, on the bright side of things. And during his illness and in his absence, I had directed Bill Kimball to keep an eye on his office and to make a list of the things that were not getting done while Larry was away. And that way we'd know what it was that he actually did. And I asked Bill to keep the list on the back of this envelope, and he gave it to me tonight. I hope all of you can see it. So with that background, I wanted to welcome Larry back to work and to present to you our superintendent of schools.
My demise is greatly exaggerated. It's good to be back. A measure of a community is often determined by the quality of schools and the care the community has for those schools. And I've heard so many people, I've heard Franklin and other people indicate about their experiences at this school. I think it'd only be appropriate for me to tell you about my experiences at this school. I too graduated from Port Huron High School. But of course, Franklin's considerably older than I am, and I think that's apparent. But I taught in this school. I was an assistant principal in this school. And obviously, my children went to this school. So I have a great deal of affection and attachment to this building. And all through my tenure, both as a student, teacher, administrator, the one thing that I've consistently heard is that we have had difficulty since day one complying with North Central requirements as it pertains to facilities, specifically to, as those that are a little older than me refer to it, a library. I refer to it as a media center. That's the new term, boys. But we have a media center here that I think is befitting the school, and it does reflect the values that the community places upon schools and their support for those schools. And I'd like to say just thank you very much for that support, and that this is going to be a great asset to the school, to this community, and to the performance in terms of the educational process for the youngsters in this school. Several people make this process possible, and I'd like to introduce some of them before we let them slip out. Some of their names have been mentioned, but the guy that we've called on by the district to perform the architectural duties has been Roy French. Roy, would you stand? Thank you. And we all agree that what Roy has done has been masterful. We have a media center that is state-of-the-art, in our opinion, is going to meet our needs very adequately. We have a cafeteria or cafetorium, which is more appropriate to the size of the student body. We have a brand new band and choir facility, which is fantastic. And we have an updated science and computer facilities for our school district. So our district is very blessed, and this school is very blessed, and we appreciate that. There are 4 other people that work very closely with me and oftentimes don't get recognized for their involvement, but I'd like to just recognize them. And the sheet of paper that Dave was given today, he showed me while I was sitting over there, it's blank. They're still trying to figure out what it is I do, and you think I'm going to tell them? There's no way. But the Assistant Superintendent, Bill Kimball, the Executive Director of Employee Relations, he stood up before I called his name, Roger White. The fellow that had the most contact in terms of the coordinating the activities with the architect and the construction people, Director of Operations, Roland Johnson. And the fellow that handles the personnel function as well as community information and other things, John McKenzie. The guy that walks around taking all the pictures is out of his office, Yuli Briones. Yuli? When we went to the community and asked for a millage to provide new facilities to a number of sites, and this being one of them, the question always was, how soon before you'd have these facilities completed? And we talked about a 2-phase operation. Phase 1, we would do construction projects on 6 different sites and have them ready for opening within a year. And of course, everybody was snickering and their eyebrows were raised, and we did it. Phase 2, which included this facility, from groundbreaking to opening, we indicated that we would have it done in a year, and we did it. And I think it turned out real well. And the person that coordinated that for us is with Barton Mallow Construction Management Firm, Dave Forden. Dave, would you stand, please? And in closing, I just want to make one comment. I've said thanks to the community for those that have worked closely with all of us. But the most important group, obviously, are those people that are here tonight and the parents of the kids that have shown confidence, support, and commitment to the community and to the schools. We appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Larry, and thanks to everyone who was on the program. So now it's time to officially dedicate and open our building officially tonight, and that's what we're doing. And I'm going to call upon 4 people to join us up in front to do that. Our 2 leaders in our building, as seniors, they've been through our school for the past 3 years, and this is their 4th year. And they've put up with what we've had and done an excellent job, and tolerated all the detours and extra walking and all that kind of thing. Noise, smells, dust, and all that sort of thing as a student, and we appreciate their indulgence. So at this time, I'd like to introduce the senior class president, Amy Benito. Amy, would you please come forward for this part of the ceremony and stand right here, please? And of course, our I've already introduced Aaron to you. Aaron, would you please come forward? Our student council president. And two really key people to our building. All of our parents are key to us, but our two presidents of our two biggest organizations. Our athletic booster organization is Elwood Woody Brown, president. Elwood, would you please come up? And our president of the band boosters, Mr. Jerry Richard. Jerry, would you please come up? I'm going to have you stand over Jerry by Amy, if you wouldn't mind, please. Amy's going to take the scissors there. Yay. Yeah. We're open. We're open. Thank you very much. I'd like to close this part of the presentation tonight and program, and before we have refreshments, and then go into our school advisory council, which I'd like to conduct immediately after we have a few minutes with refreshments, and I'd like to invite everyone to attend that can. I'd like to thank everyone who has participated in the groundbreaking all the way to the dedication tonight, all of our staff, all of our community, all of our students, and I'd like to thank specifically one gentleman who has put up with endless phone calls and complaints from me, and that's Mr. Roland Johnson. Thank you, Roland. Man has got patience that I never dreamed was ever there. Of course, Mr. Mueller will not take any credit, I'm sure, but he does have a lot to do about the way we ended up to design our school. He cared so much about the way this school needed to be changed that I have to say, Larry, that you were the driving force to help us get to that point and to help us sell this to our community. And of course, the most important people are our community members, our taxpayers, who voted 2 or 3 years ago, I think it was, to make this possible. And this $1.2 million we've spent for this facility, all the things Larry has indicated, plus the renovations and equipment, have all made this the finest high school in the state of Michigan, and we're proud of it. And thank you for coming.